Sometimes love doesn't begin with fireworks. It starts with something quieter, a look that lingers too long, a smile that feels like a promise. You don't realize it's the beginning of everything. You just, feel it. And before you know it, someone who was once a stranger becomes the reason you wake up smiling, the voice you wait for, the home you didn't know you were searching for. It started with laughter, the kind that fills empty spaces and makes ordinary moments feel special. Every conversation flowed like music, every silence felt safe. Two people who didn't plan to fall, they just did, slowly, silently, beautifully. There were no grand gestures, just small moments that meant everything. Sharing secrets at midnight, holding hands without saying a word, staring at the sky and dreaming about forever. It was simple, but it was real. They found comfort in each other's chaos. The world outside didn't matter when they were together. Every fight ended with laughter, every tear turned into a hug. It felt like they had built their own world, one that no one else could touch. In their eyes, love wasn't just a feeling. It was home. It was safety. It was knowing that no matter what happens, someone will always be there to understand the words you never say. But love has a strange way of testing its strength. What once feels like destiny can turn into something fragile, something that needs to be protected, nurtured, and held with care. They didn't see it yet, but the cracks had already started to form. Not in anger, not in betrayal, but in the quiet moments, the times they forgot to listen, to notice, to hold on. Still, at that moment, love felt perfect. It was everything they had ever wanted, soft, pure, endless. The kind of love you believe will never fade. They didn't know it yet, but this was the beginning of both their greatest joy and their deepest loneliness. It didn't break overnight. Love rarely does. It began in moments too small to notice. A text left unanswered, a hug that felt shorter, a laugh that didn't sound the same. The comfort they once found in silence now felt like emptiness. The same bed, but oceans apart. The same routine, but no excitement left in it. Somewhere between the good mornings and the good nights, something changed. The warmth turned into habit, and habit into distance. They stopped talking about dreams and started talking about schedules. Their smiles became polite, not passionate. The house that once echoed with laughter now carried only the sound of notifications and sighs. He began to stay quiet, thinking silence would keep the peace. She began to stay strong, pretending nothing was wrong. But both could feel it, the air between them getting heavier every day. Love, once effortless, now demanded effort. Every word was measured, every gesture careful. The things they used to adore about each other became reasons to argue. Her independence now felt like distance. His calmness now felt like coldness. They both missed each other, even while sitting side by side. And that's the cruelest part, missing someone who's still right there. They didn't want to admit it, but love had changed its shape. It was no longer the wild fire that burned through nights. It was smoke, still there, but fading. The more they tried to hold on, the more it slipped through their fingers. And yet they kept pretending that nothing was wrong, pretending that love was still love. Because sometimes it's easier to stay broken together than to face the truth alone. They told themselves this was just a phase. That love always finds its way back. But deep down, both knew they were no longer fighting the world together. They were fighting to remember what it once felt like to be in love. And that fight was already lost. There wasn't a fight. No shouting, no slammed doors, no dramatic ending. Just quiet. The kind of silence that fills the room like fog, heavy, endless, cold. They still lived side by side, still shared the same space, but not the same heart. Every glance felt forced, every word carefully chosen to avoid another fracture. It was as if they were rehearsing a version of their love that no longer existed. She started sleeping with her back turned. He started staying out a little longer. The spaces between them grew wider, invisible but undeniable. The small things, the morning coffee he used to make, the late-night talks she used to start, disappeared one by one. What was once effortless now felt exhausting. What was once us had quietly turned into you and me. One night, he looked at her and realized she was there, but gone. Not in body, but in soul. She had learned to smile without warmth, to speak without care. He wanted to reach out, to say something, anything, but his words stayed trapped behind pride and fear. Love was slipping away, and neither had the strength to catch it. They both kept pretending because ending it felt harder than living with the ache. But the truth was already written in their silence. Love had turned into memory, and memory had turned into pain. The kind of pain that doesn't scream, but lingers. The kind that makes you feel alone even when you're not. He finally whispered, "What happened to us?" But she didn't answer. Maybe because she didn't know. Or maybe because the answer was too simple, nothing happened. We just stopped trying, and that was the breaking point. Not a moment of anger, but a quiet surrender. Two hearts still beating, but no longer for each other. Two souls once intertwined, now learning how to be alone again. In the end, love didn't vanish. It just changed shape. What once lived in messages and shared dreams now lingered in silence and memory. The house felt too big, the mornings too quiet. There were no fights left, no tears to cry, only the stillness of acceptance. That's how healing begins, not with joy, but with peace. The kind that hurts before it helps. She started to notice the little things again, the sound of the rain, the smell of morning coffee, the way sunlight touched the walls. For so long, those things were just background to a love that consumed her. Now they became her company. He, too, learned to live with the echoes, her laughter that still haunted the halls, her voice that lived in old voicemails. But over time, even those echoes began to fade. Slowly, not suddenly. Letting go isn't forgetting. It's remembering without breaking. It's understanding that love, even when it ends, leaves traces of who we became because of it. They had loved deeply, and that love had shaped them, taught them tenderness, patience, and the ache of impermanence. The loneliness that followed wasn't punishment. It was proof that what they shared was real. One day she walked past the place they once went together and smiled. Not because she missed him, but because she finally understood some people aren't meant to stay forever. They're meant to teach us how to feel. And that's enough. He, too, found comfort in knowing that not every story needs a happy ending. Some just need an honest one. As the days turned into months, the love that once hurt began to soften. It became gratitude for the moments that were, for the version of themselves they found through each other. They didn't belong together anymore, but they no longer resented the past. Because sometimes love doesn't end, it transforms. From presence to memory, from pain to wisdom. And in that quiet acceptance, they found something stronger than love, peace.